What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins here, West Ham Fan TV. Back once again with another video. Now, I normally do the morning after the game before. I normally do the morning after the game before. Fact of the matter is, I was too angry to talk yesterday, and I do realise that a lot of our channel of late has been very negative. Now, I can defend this a little bit because the feeling around the club is negative at the minute, and the thing is, I get accused a lot of swearing. Now, I'm an East London lad. I'm a working class boy. I was born and raised in Canning Town. Swearing for me is, and I do understand that it's not to everyone's taste, but swearing to me is a way I use to vent my frustrations. Now, is it the most appropriate or the most, pretty thing to listen to? No, it's not. And a lot of people sort of sit and accuse me of diluting my message by using such profanity. Now, I'm a passionate boy. West Ham has been in my family for generations and generations. In fact, I can trace support back to West Ham from the days that the club was formed under the Thames Ironworks banner. My house was where I grew up and where we lived. My first house was, a stone's throw away from the place where the club was formed. I then lived on the back of the Memorial Grounds, which was one of our first ever grounds. And then I moved back to Ordnance Road, which was, I lived there for many years, which was, again, just up the road from the old Thames Ironworks. And what I wanted to do in this video, of course, is there's so much nonsense going around at the minute regarding the club. Media people are sort of defending the club, but the fans are upset and nobody seems to know why we're upset. So I wanted to put a message out to everybody without the swearing, make it a bit more profound, so a lot more people take it seriously without just some fella that looks like he's lost his rag, because a lot of people would think I lost my rag on post-match pint or last week, just because of what's going on, over the first game of the season. It might seem a little bit, I don't know, over the top, maybe, but that's the way we sort of express ourselves through passion on a match day. Now, let me tell you this. This has been a coming together of about 5 or 6 years. I saw signs of this when we first got announced with the move, and would it be a good move for us to the Olympic Stadium? And look, we're going over our ground. This is going to be our 5th year in the Olympic Stadium. Fact of the matter is this: is the bowling is gone. We are tenants of the London Stadium, and why this regime is in charge, we're never gonna move from here or progress from here. They sold us promises moving into the London Stadium, and these are their words, not ours. These are their ambitions and promises to us. We never asked for this. We was quite happy at the bowling, a cup run every now and then. We knew we wasn't the biggest club. We knew we couldn't progress really under these owners unless some massive Saudi or American or Chinese or something like that consortium come and took us over and invested a lot of money in the club. The same way, Chelsea progressed or Manchester City progressed. We knew we was never going to do that, but we wasn't that annoyed with that. The community comes first to West Ham. It always has. enjoying your day out, and the result, although it's important, comes second. And what they did when they put the bid in for this Olympic Stadium is they promised us the world, not only with the type of football we was going to play and where we was going to go and what money this Olympic Stadium would allow the club to spend in the likes of, look, we all saw it when we went to get our season tickets. They all told us we'd be competing with the likes of Bayern Munich and Manchester United and everything else. The extra revenue would allow us to compete with that. Now, I know the owners don't like being called liars, but just for the sake of argument's sake, just to get my message across so it doesn't look like some bloke just ranting and raving, let's just say you were frugal with the truth. Because, let's be fair, the stadium, and Miss Brady herself has confirmed this, it doesn't bring any extra revenue in. So where was the business plan from day one? This is my first point. Where was the business plan from day one? Where did you think this extra revenue was going to come from? And there's only one place I can think about where you thought it was come from, and that was to expand your brand worldwide, expand the West Ham brand. That's why the London was put on the bottom of the badge. You thought it was going to be a worldwide brand in an iconic stadium. You thought all your dreams had come true. Now, you are not going to get, you can't move, let's say, let's pick one, Leyton Orient into the Olympic Stadium and expect them to become a worldwide brand. It don't matter. It doesn't matter if it's Leyton Orient. The way you become a worldwide brand is to be quite decent at playing football. That's it. That's why people from China and everything else support Manchester City, because they attract the best players. They're playing in the Champions League on the world stage. They're in competitions to win things. Now, this hasn't always been the case for Manchester City. But go back to Liverpool, Manchester United. They are the worldwide brands they are, not because they play at Old Trafford or Anfield. They are the worldwide brands they are because they win football games. Because they have good players, they have world-class talent, they compete at the highest level. The more you look, you only have to look around Sky Sports and you know, things are brought there. Everything is concentrated on that top six team. Even, let's take Tottenham, for instance. Nobody was looking at Tottenham 20 years ago. Since they've started competing in the Champions League, they've become a more supported brand. The stadium was never ever going to become or make us this worldwide brand. The worldwide brand would be playing in that stadium plus investing enough money, and it would have taken investment. It would have taken a little bit of, let's say, cojones, just because I don't want to swear on this video. The fact of the matter is this: Gold and Sullivan, do I believe that they intentionally go out to damage us as a club? Do I believe that they intentionally go and basically make us worse? No, I don't. But what I do believe is that 70 and 80 years old respectively plus, is that the world of football for these guys, unfortunately, has just passed them by. Their dreams and ambitions are not matched by their wallets. Now, David Sullivan's a billionaire, but they do not want to invest any more money into this club. Their whole strategy, and they hoodwinked us a lot, but their whole strategy from day one when they walked in the club, and they confirmed it the day that they walked into the club, is to move the club into the London Stadium. Now, was that strategy to move them forward as businessmen or to move us forward as a club? We all hoped, because they come with this tag of, you know, we've all heard the story, 442 Green Street for David Gold, and David Sullivan being a huge West Ham fan. We all hoped that it would be for the benefit of the club. But what has come to fruition since is it's not for the benefit of the club. It's for their benefit. Because if you are willing to move into a big stadium, things don't magically change overnight. They don't magically change overnight because you move from the bowling to the Olympic Stadium. We've all heard it. World-class team, world-class stadium. Let's be fair. They've delivered on neither of those. The stadium is awful for football fans. And that is the gripe that a lot of us have, is that none of these decisions that they've ever made, although we was all hopeful, and we're a trusting lot, us Cockneys, and you know, we take people at face value. And unfortunately for us, when it comes to these sort of ruthless businessmen, which these two owners are, it's never the case. You can never take them at face value. You have to look deeper. And I know a few fans did look deeper, but a lot of us, being the trusting people we are, we trust you. If this is the vision, then, you know, we're on board. You've spent the last 2-3 years trying to cull people from saying that you're bad owners, that you can't, like you just can't run a football club anymore. If you spent enough money, if you spent enough time trying to get the ownership, like looking at why these people are saying you're bad owners, looking at these people saying why you can't run the football club, as you did trying to stop them from saying you can't, then they wouldn't have a reason to say you can't. Everything you promised us, you cannot deliver on. And then now this comes to my point, is we're getting to a point now in COVID. For the last 4 years, you've shuffled about a little bit. You've moved the pieces. And unfortunately for you, your chess moves are done. There's no more moves for you to make. It's checkmate. You are caught in a situation. COVID has probably accelerated the process, because what I believe you're doing is moving the pieces around until 2023, until there was a bid for the club, because you're never going to stay here. You're too old and you don't know the game anymore. Unfortunately for football, and unfortunately for people like you, and I've said this many times before, this is not Birmingham City where you can buy a club for £1 million and stick £500,000 in now and expect to compete at the highest level. This is a billionaire's playground, unfortunately. And unfortunately for people like you, you are getting left behind by the most minute of clubs, because although it looks to you attractive, all of this money coming in, the fact of the matter is, if you want to sustain that money coming in, you have to spend it. The old saying goes, you have to speculate to accumulate. And you had the perfect opportunity, moving from the bowling to the Olympic Stadium, to move us on as a club. We was flying high. A couple of more signings that season, a bit of ambition, a bit of money spent, a bit of money invested in the club, could have seen us go to challenging for the top 6. But instead, you took on the free signings, you took on these subpar players just because agents have recommended them, and you thought to yourself, if we keep them for a year, we'll be able to sell them on, and there's sort of a sustainable amount of income. The fact of the matter is this: we've heard the stories, you know, we've had it confirmed by sources. You can't do business with a lot of people anymore. People have seen through your nonsense. As I said, you treat this football game where there's so much money flying around as like it's a car boot sale, like you can haggle people down to unprecedented amounts of money. Burnley want £50 million for Tarkowski. You went in with a £25 million, but this is not Dagenham Market. This is a billionaire's playground, and you get laughed out the game. And I think that's what's going on. I think we're getting laughed at the game. People are getting more and more annoyed at having to deal with you people. Leicester won't deal with us because of Karen Brady and the Sun. Probably a few other clubs wouldn't deal with us because of that same reason. We don't know. We probably never tried. We have no direction at this football club. There is no philosophy. Where is our because of the problems that you have dealing with these people, I don't believe that we can put a proper strategy in place. We just have to chuck money around and scattergun and what they call a shotgun approach to transfers, and just bid just to see who will deal with us in the end. It's poor. It's a poor strategy, and it's come to the point now where you are suffocating this club. You are suffocating us. Do I believe you were once upon a time fans? Yes, I do. Do I believe that your insatiable appetite for making money has hindered us as progressing as a football club, has hindered us in the game, and eventually will lead to the destruction of the club? Yes, I do. I believe that there's so many, you see so many zeros on these checks and these, the TV money and all this, that you literally are licking your lips and rubbing your hands together. But the fact of the matter is, to sustain that level of income, you have to invest that money back into the side to keep, fans happy. You refer to us as customers, and I find that quite insulting, because if I went to a restaurant or I went to a car dealership, if they treated me as a customer the way you treat us, I would never go back there again. And you prey on the fact that we are so loyal and that football is a unique business that we will keep on going back. But even now, you've just run it into the ground. You've taken so many liberties that these people do not want to come back now. Lifelong people who have lived under maybe the Kerns and the Browns, where it was terrible, probably worse than it is now. But they kept on coming back. They kept on coming back because what? They weren't made any promises. They didn't move us out of the bowling. They didn't try and disguise their ambition to become multi-billionaires and to make more money as an ambition to be successful, because that's what you've done. You've disguised it. As I said, I don't want to use the word lie, but you've disguised the reason you wanted to move. You wanted to move because them corporate seats and that corporate enclosure at the Olympic Stadium is a lot better than it was at Upton Park. It's all about ego. You never once thought of the fans. Never once. Now, there is a redeeming way to get out of this. You leave. Take your tail between your legs, get your money back and leave, because you are looking at people. 8,500 marched against Southampton, 8,500, and the numbers are growing. Do you honestly think that these people want to get out of bed, want to put on these want to spend money on these t-shirts and these banners and these flags because they think it's a laugh? They don't think it's a laugh. They are seriously upset. And if you don't look at the reasons why they're upset, if you keep on trying to nullify, instead of looking at the reasons at why fans are upset, you spend your time and your efforts into silencing media companies who are telling the truth. Look at Sunday Supplement. Look at the BT Sport incident recently. Look at Jim White, who just pushes your propaganda. You spend your time silencing them so the rest of the world don't find out. What you should be doing is finding out the reasons why these people are taking it upon themselves to get themselves out of bed on a non-match day, move themselves to them gates, hold them flags up. You saw it against Newcastle. Hold them flags up and say they want you gone, and address them reasons rather than trying to skip round it by silencing the rest. We've seen the interviews with the Moose. We don't want to see interviews with the Moose. We want to see interviews with people that are going to ask you proper questions, because ever since you've been in that stadium, you've never provided any proper answers. None. And I think the fans deserve an explanation. We are not customers. We are fans. We're fans of the football club. We'll be fans of the football club unfortunately, when you're long gone. Fortunately, when you're long gone. You are drowning us. You are suffocating us, and you're killing us. And all that these people want to do is to make sure that this club survives. And not only survives, but becomes competitive again. You keep on banging on the drum. We all know that you release statements and things through in the know sources because you want the fans to not complain and be appeased. We all know that. We all know that you do that. It's not rocket science to know that you're the one leaking it. And that's poor. That's poor from a chairman. I don't believe you're that naive. I don't believe you're so naive that you don't know what's going on. You know exactly what's going on. You're buying time and buying time. And unfortunately, your time has come to an end. You can't, I know it's probably a sad thing to look up to, but you can't, as owners, look at yourself in the mirror and say, we are doing what's best for this football club. Because we're not competitive. You only have to look at the Newcastle game. We keep on using the same excuses again, and this is what makes us upset, is that I think you think we're silly. You're sending people like Claret and Hugh out to publish all of these astronomical figures. They look astronomical on paper to people like me and other working class fans because they're in the millions and millions of pounds. But in football terms, sometimes it's peanuts. You keep on making this excuse of spending 100 million quid a couple of years ago. Fact of the matter is this. Fulham at the time spent more money than us. Fulham. Last season we signed Haller and Yeti. Sales and things like that brought the net spend down to £25 million. We've saved £30 million in wages in the last 2 years. I've done the calculations. No matter what the official counts say. We're looking at a time in COVID and you're telling everyone, oh, we're poor. We see what's going on at other clubs. We see it. Telly's gone. We see what's going on at other clubs. You can't use that excuse. It's not going to fly. Social media is an express way to get news these days. It doesn't rub. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. It's time for you to move on, unfortunately. And I once see an interview with David Gold when he was the chairman of Birmingham, saying that how could you look at yourself in the mirror if a big come in so big, that they could move the club forward. He didn't support Birmingham, he support West Ham. Apparently there's a bid coming in. You've had £20 million in interest. You're going to make a few other 100 million on the sale of the club. Stop overvaluing it at £800 million is what the rumoured asking price is. Make it more realistic. Stop suffocating us. You've already sold our soul. You might as well give us some good football to watch, because combined, it's a real kick in the teeth for fans. For once, think of the people that have been here for a lifetime and stop thinking about your pockets. Let us become competitive. Give it to someone that can invest in the side and actually give people something good to watch. Because if you watched that game, you was there Saturday, we weren't, we can't be there. But if you was there Saturday, you'd realise we're a long, long way from even being competitive in this league. And if we pick up 9 wins in the league, I'll be very surprised. And we are sleepwalking our way towards the championship. And I fear from there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this is put put it into a little bit of perspective for some people. And I hope that the people that are sick and tired of me ranting and raving can see that I can do it constructively. One thing left to say, GSB out for the good of the club. Come on, you ones.